Welcome to this week's episode of This Week in Tech India, the only weekly tech news roundup you need for you to stay informed about tech in India. Why should you stay informed about tech in India? Because you may not realize that you have been buying goods and services from a Singaporean company that pretends to be an Indian company for many years now. That's right, I'm talking about Flipkart. Well, this week, Flipkart has received approval for Desh Waapsi, that is going to shift its headquarters from Singapore to India. The reason they are doing that, no matter what they say it's to be closer to the Indian market and whatnot. They are doing that because there is an IPO next year and it had to be done. So do I think that Flipkart would have done it if there wasn't the IPO on the horizon? Do I think that they wouldn't have shifted headquarters to India if it wasn't for the IPO? I think so. Let me know what you think in the comments. Flipkart also acquires an AI startup, a generative AI startup called Minivet AI. No, it's got nothing to do with vets. It's a generative AI startup that converts product catalog images into motion pictures, into 3D graphics and whatnot. Simple but fantastic idea. I do wonder if it is a potential antitrust or a conflict of interest for Flipkart to acquire such a company, and that maybe the CCI needs to step in over here. Another Indian company that is actually headquartered outside of India is this company called Freshworks. Freshworks is a cloud-based CRM provider. It has been around for some time. It was started in 2010 by two ex-Zoho employees in Chennai. They have moved their headquarters to the US, presumably to target US-based clients. They are listed on the NASDAQ. They have acquired a US-based AI company called FireHydrant, which is to do with AI-based incident reporting. Nice. Now we move from big Indian companies that are incorporated outside India to big non-Indian companies that want to be in India. There is reporting that Apple, which already makes iPhones and other stuff in India, is going to shift some of its silicon production in India. Apple doesn't get enough credit. I feel that Apple doesn't get enough credit for making some of the most advanced chips in the world. From the A series that has been used in iPhones to the M series that's used in Mac, it does make some pretty advanced chips. And if these start being made in India, I think it's going to be pretty cool. This somewhat coincided with the news of the reveal of DHRUV64, which is India's first locally designed and produced 64-bit microprocessor. Another milestone in India's semiconductor journey to become a global leader. Another big American tech company, Google. Well, Google has announced more investment into AI in India, but this is an investment of like $8 million, which pales in comparison with the $10 billion it announced a couple of weeks ago into Vizag. But Google Pay, or GPay as we love to call it, which has become synonymous with UPI really. When they say I'll GPay you the money, it basically means I'll UPI the money to you. But GPay has announced the first physical credit card in the world, and it's going to be launched in India in partnership with Axis Bank and RuPay. I'm guessing the credit card is cool for people who want to carry around a physical credit card, because these days, come on, as long as you have your phone, that's how you pay for goods and services, or that's how you transfer money. This also reminds me of the Apple credit card that was launched a few years ago in the US in partnership with Goldman Sachs. Looking back and looking at it today, the Apple credit card is nothing but a status symbol. And maybe that's what the Google credit card will also become. Tata Consultancy Services, one of my least favorite companies, has announced big investments in AI, is promising an AI city in Lucknow and hiring of AI-based individuals and setting up of AI training centers. Well, why did TCS lay off the more than 12,000 people in 2025 then, if they are promising to hire more people right now? TCS has also set up a subsidiary in Bhutan, mostly to do with financial services. Bhutan, which is known to be the happiest country in the world. I do hope they don't become less happy now that TCS has a subsidiary there. Right. The ride-hailing duopoly in India is Ola and Uber. Well, Bharat Taxi, which aims to break the duopoly, is going live on 1st of December in Delhi. Bharat Taxi is government-backed. Some say that it's entirely commission-free. Some say that the riders will keep 80% of the commission. Either way, apparently they already have thousands of taxis and riders lined up. So hopefully it works out. A non-government, a big business house that's looking to get into the ride-hailing and cab booking service is the Jindal Group. It is launching Trevel, T-R-E-V-E-L, which for now, at the time it's being introduced in Gurgaon, is a premium chauffeur-driven electric taxi fleet. Nice. The Indian Railways has announced that more than 6,000 stations now get free Wi-Fi, which is cool. And more than 1,700 stations and a few coaches as well have more have more CCTVs involved. My dog is concerned about CCTVs in public space. Well, as a privacy consultant, let me tell you, having CCTVs in public space, yes, it's more surveillance, but you do need more surveillance in a public space for the safety of passengers and employees. So this is a good move by the government. In terms of streaming news, interestingly, the government has clarified that OTT, that is over-the-top streaming platforms, the content from these OTT platforms does not fall under the Central Board of Film Certification. It is mostly self-regulated. I found this interesting because if you remember a few months back, the government banned certain OTT platforms such as Alt Balaji for airing very seemingly offensive content. Yes, we know they did. But today they are saying it does not fall under the Central Board of Film Certification. It's not clear yet, and I'll try to find out whether OTT content from OTT platforms do fall under the censor board. CNAP, that is caller name presentation, is now live in India, which means if you get a regular call from an unknown number, you should be able to see the name of the person who is calling. This is different from Truecaller, like I said last week, because this name that is displayed on Truecaller is not the name that is displayed on CNAP is not the way the number is saved on other people's phones. It's supposed to be the official number. It does not work on WhatsApp calling or Telegram calling, but I mean, come on, if you get a WhatsApp call from an unknown number, you're more inclined to believe that it's a scam. So this does, CNAP move, it does hopefully reduce the number of scam calls in India, which is a big source of scamming, unfortunately, even today. Last couple of bits of news to close out with. CoinDCX, which is a big crypto exchange in India. Now remember, I said this earlier this year, it is legal to invest in cryptocurrency as a form of investment in India. It's not yet legal to use cryptocurrency as fiat, which means you can't use Bitcoin to buy and sell goods and services. Well, CoinDCX is a massive exchange for crypto investments, and Coinbase has received approval from the CCI to make an investment in CoinDCX. Are they going to pay for that investment in Bitcoin? Maybe. And finally, Paytm. So if you see the list of largest UPI platforms in India based on volume of services, you have PhonePe, that's a number 1. You have GPay and Paytm that interchanges between number 2 and number 3. We spoke about GPay a little earlier in this episode. Now Paytm has received approval from the RBI to be a payment aggregator license that covers cross-border and offline payments, which means essentially this means that it should be easier for merchants to be onboarded on Paytm service. If you want to know more details about what a payment aggregator is and how this benefits a few people, leave a comment. I'll be happy to explain. That's it for now. We are getting to the end of 2025. A lot of good things are coming up. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Share this with a lot of your friends and your relatives, including your aunties. And I will see you next week with the next episode of This Week in Tech India. Bye.